So, how can we insert items into our dictionary? Now, the way to do this is actually quite easy. We can use subscript notation to assign a given value to an appropriate key. Okay, so up in our animal types dictionary, to insert, I'm going to call animal types, and then using subscript notation, instead of searching for a specific key, I'm going to add a new key. Okay, so we'll put gorilla here. And let's set gorilla equal to primate. Okay, so now if I print out my animal types dictionary and run the code, we should see that gorilla has properly been inserted into my dictionary. Now the reason that it did that is because I provided a unique key, and because it was a unique key, it could properly be inserted. Now, if I were to put a key here that already existed, like if we put lion and we changed this to mammal, well, it wouldn't add a new lion of species mammal to my dictionary. It would instead change my dictionary at my key for lion would now be equal to mammal. Okay, so a dictionary cannot hold two keys that are equal. So let's go ahead and practice and insert a new friend and state into our dictionary here. Okay, so we're going to say friends location dictionary. We'll say that we've got our good friend Russell, and Russell lives in New Jersey. Okay, so let's go ahead and print out our friends location dictionary, run the code, and we need to make sure that our friends location dictionary is a variable so we can actually put things into it, right? And run the code. And we see that Russell from New Jersey is now inside of my dictionary. So to practice what you've learned up to now, I'm going to give you a challenge. Okay? So I want you to write a function called email address for that takes in a person's name as a string and returns their email address as a string. Now inside of that function, you're going to store whatever email address you create into a dictionary that you've created externally from the function so that we can continue to insert items into that dictionary over time. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, work this out, and then come back and we'll go through it together. All right, so we're creating a function here called email address for, and we're going to be passing in a name of type string. And we also want to return a string, which is going to be the email address. Okay, and I also need a dictionary that I can store these email addresses in, right? The name and the email address. So let's go ahead and say var email address dictionary, and this is going to be of type string. Okay, and in order to create an empty dictionary in Swift, you can do equals, open bracket, colon, close bracket. Okay, so this is an empty dictionary of type string. All right, so now we need to create our email address. So we'll say let email address equal our name plus, and then we'll just use some simple string concatenation, right, at gmail.com. Okay, so once we've created our email address, we want to add the name and the email address to our email address dictionary. Okay, so we just learned how to do that. We're going to be calling our email address dictionary here, and then using the subscript notation, we want to use the name as the key, and the value is going to be whatever email address we create. Okay, and this is saying we're missing a return in the function. We'll go ahead and we'll return our email address. Okay, so now if I call our function, say email address, and I create an email for myself, and then let's go ahead and make sure that it's adding this key value pair properly to my email address dictionary. We'll print out my email address dictionary and run it, and we see that it has properly inserted my name and my email address into our email address dictionary. So now we can continue to add values to that, right? I can call my email address function again, and we could say Steven here. And then we'll print out our email address dictionary again. And we see that Johnny at gmail.com, and then Steven at gmail.com.